Broadcasting live. It's America's longest running talk show on computers. It's Computer America, bringing you the biggest names in technology with guest interviews, new products, and your emails. Listen live at computeramerica.com on any device around the world. Email the show at live@computeramerica.com or find us on social media. Be sure to check out our website for contests, giveaways, show notes, live video stream, podcasts, and more. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome everyone into the Computer America Show. We are the nation's longest running nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. Everyone, welcome into the program. Today on the show we have computer and technology news, and ladies and gentlemen, do we have a great lineup for you today. You can find out more at computeramerica.com, where you'll find everything from past shows, future shows, live video streams, show notes, articles, reviews, podcasts, anything that we do here on Computer America. You can, of course, find it right there. So highly encourage you to do that. Now, in the meantime, why don't we go ahead and just jump right into it. We're going to try to keep this short, sweet, ideally like 20 minutes, but I'm sure as you've seen by the timestamp, I doubt we'll get there. But everyone, we can go ahead and try Computer and Technology News, brought to you by Computer America. All right, everyone. So I think that for our first story, let's just jump right into it. And yesterday, the President of the United States gave his State of the Union address. And, well, what can I say? We don't normally get into politics, though one part did stand out to us. And this has to do with Biden wants to ban advertising targeted towards kids. And regardless of how you feel about the political spectrum, the advertising moguls, the advertising companies, have made a lot of money. They've made a lot of money in the wild west of advertising. Collect all data, any data from anywhere, anything, sort it out later, and use it at your discretion. Well, looks like regulators are finally getting onto it. And honestly, we've seen this, if this is like the end process of it. I want a lot of people to understand. Advertising towards kids, this is the end process when regulators finally get around to announcing we're cracking down on this. Because we've already seen Google, who is one of the biggest advertiser companies out there, they switched from using cookies. They banned cookies. Apple's banned cookies. Apple banned tracking. Google has stopped advertising based on keywords, phrases, demographics, things like that. Essentially, they've moved on to different tactics, whether you've noticed or not. They will put you in and say, you know, Ben really likes video games, computers, stuff that's very sedentary and doesn't move a lot, hence his weight. Maybe he's into weight loss. They'll put you into different baskets of interest, but they don't target you specifically with Ben was looking at these curtains. Let's serve him all these different curtains that are very similar. So advertisers have already changed tactics, and now that everything, the groundwork has been laid, there's no surprises, business can continue as usual. Now the regulators are going to jump on board and start changing it for everyone else. So there you go. In his first State of the Union address, President Biden has asked Congress to implement new laws to create child safety on Facebook, TikTok, and other social media platforms, saying it's time to strengthen privacy protections, ban targeted advertising to children, demand tech companies stop collecting personal data on our children. And again, all of this has been in the works for many, many months, if not years, to kind of curb this. Because there were already protections, but they want to strengthen them and make sure that doesn't happen. Because kids are very, very impressionable. Heck, those little goblins are downright stupid. So yeah, this is a good move. So much of the motivation behind the change includes a whistleblower for Facebook that, of course, famously went there and said that Facebook was not doing enough to protect children on its platform and stop misinformation. So there you go. Yep, there you go. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap that one up there. But advertising is going to change, not just for kids, but for everyone. But more specifically for kids, let's just say that Instagram for kids is never really going to become a thing because you just can't make money off of it. So there you go. Story number 1. Story number 2. I think we're going to go ahead and do this one. So let's see. Bungie rejects Steam Deck's Linux. And the reason why this kind of caught my attention was that Bungie is part of Microsoft, I think, right? Right. I know 343 Studios was the one that kind of branched off and took over Halo, but anyways, Destiny 2 and Microsoft have strong ties, and the software that the Steam Deck runs on is a version of Linux. Well, to make sure compatibility happened, Steam and Valve and Steam Deck, all of them promised a version of Linux that would have super compatibility with all of their games, a lot of their titles, and if it wasn't straight up compatible, then you could run some things in the background, such as Proton, which is called Steam Play Proton, and it would give additional functionality and give additional compatibility. Destiny 2, though, which is an online service, you have to be connected at all times. There's no offline component to it. Essentially, what they said is, we don't specifically support the Steam Deck. They do support Stadia, and Stadia is a version of Linux, but it's not this version of Linux. So Destiny said, if you play this, if you connect to it, and you use a third-party software to get around our compatibility check, then you can be banned. And from there, it kind of extrapolated and said, wow, hey, that's not good. So with that being said, players who attempt to bypass Destiny 2 incompatibility will be met with a game ban. And so Destiny's not exactly saying that, hey, we're going to ban anyone who plays on Steam Deck. It's more like the way that you play on Steam Deck can get you banned. Just like if you try to play on any other unapproved hardware, yeah, that will get you banned as well. I'm guessing it's more of an automated system that would get you in trouble. So it's not so much that they hate Valve or they hate Steam. It's just they haven't gone through the inroads to make sure everything is on the up and up. That holds true for games like Fortnite. It's SteamOS 3.0 is the Linux version. Yeah, exactly. And they just haven't made the inroads in with the company to make sure everything's 100%. So don't get banned. Fortnite, also another one that famously does not, have compatibility with the Steam Deck. They announced that last month because of the easy anti-cheat. The developer has not turned on the easy anti-cheat software on Steam Decks. So it's not that these aren't ever going to come. It's not like they have some vendetta against Steam. It's more like they haven't, done all of the legwork to make sure everything is fully compatible. So don't panic. It's just for now, Destiny 2 is not coming to Steam Deck. There you go. Now, story number 3. And this has a little bit to do, if you want to know more about Russia, Ukraine, and tech in particular, how all of that interplays, definitely recommend that you check out Tuesday, March 1st show, if you want to learn more about that. But we're going to give light updates here and there. A lot of my thoughts are in that story, but story number 3 does touch on it lightly. And I believe Wikipedia said, oh no, ... Let's see, actually, I have to have a sound effect for this. So Russia announced this, and Wikipedia collectively said, aww. Yeah, but in reality, no one really cared. Because, let's face it, Wikipedia does not advertise. It's not like losing the Russian audience is really going to be that big of a deal. So what I'm talking about here is that Russia threatens to block Wikipedia over Ukraine invasion article. And right now, you can't edit the article like you can other Wikipedia articles because it's highly contested. It's Russian invasion of Ukraine 2022. And they said that the editors are keeping up with civilians that are killed, Ukrainian soldiers that have been killed, civilians that have been wounded, Russian military casualties, stuff like that. Some of those numbers that Russia will obviously dispute. They will say that there's a lot less civilian. Yeah, they will have a lot less civilian population killed. There will be a lot more Ukrainians killed. There'll be a lot less Russians killed. In fact, they would even take issue that it's an invasion at all. I'm sure a Russian would say it's a special military operation, nothing like that. So all in all, Russia says they might ban them if they don't do that. And, well, the Wikimedia Foundation, which is, of course, the foundation behind Wikipedia, said on Tuesday that the invasion of Ukraine has resulted in loss of life and has been accompanied by information warfare online. The spread of disinformation about the ongoing crisis affects the safety of people who depend on this decision, and it interferes with everyone's right to access open knowledge. So give credit to Wikipedia. I'm sure that a lot of people go to this article to get good, relevant, up-to-date information. And yeah, if they get banned over reporting the facts, then Wikipedia is going to do that. And really, the only country it hurts is Russia themselves if they disagree with how this is written. So there you go. But let's face it, Wikipedia entries are always a topic of hot debate. And yeah, one of our listeners even sent us an email from a gentleman who ran a laser etching company. And let's just say that the Russian military and the Russian government are not the same as the Russian people. There are many businesses, organizations, individual people that want nothing and have nothing to do with what's happening in Ukraine. And I've seen the point made multiple times. The two should not be conflated, and there are plenty of people on the inside that actually dissent to doing this. So just because someone has a Russian accent does not mean you immediately, freak out on them. This is very clearly a military operation and something coming from Putin himself. Don't blame every single Russian that you meet. So just want to make that very, very clear. Though, let's face it, the Russian economy is going to suffer from this, and it will be the everyday people that unfortunately have to deal with the consequences. So that's the sad part. Now, moving on from that, let's see, just try to make sure. Okay, the only other story that we're not really going to cover is EA is removing Russian teams from FIFA and NHL. They will no longer be featured in their games. So really hitting them where it hurts, I guess. Like I said yesterday, every company has to have a stance on Russia and Ukraine. And let's face it, the trendy online PR appropriate response is bad Russia. And, hey, that's to be expected. That's what's fair. Okay, now, moving on from all of that, let's go ahead and how about some good news? YouTuber reunites Celeste developer with lost game award after finding it on eBay. And that's pretty cool. I actually remember this game. It won, a number of awards back in, let's say this was 2018. There you go. So Celeste, if you don't recall, they say in 2018, Celeste won a game award for the best independent release of that year. For nearly 4 years since, the award had been missing, but now it's on its way back to its rightful owners at Extremely OK Games, thanks to YouTuber Ryan B in a recent video spotted by PC Gamer. There you go, and you can see the image there. Saying that Prestigious Key, as he's better known online, has spent the last 5 years trying to buy a replica of a game award to add to his home collection. He recently found an eBay listing that was selling a real version of the winged statue. The seller claimed that they have obtained the award from a liquidation source and had no other information to share about it. Ryan decided to take his chances, paid almost $400 plus shipping to buy the trophy. When it finally turned up, he found out that it was the genuine article. Now, he had contacted OK Games, and they found out that during the award, because I'm sure that these things are fairly hectic, it had been lost or given away. The studio told him that they never got their award after the show, and they offered to mail him, and in return, covered all of his costs so he wasn't out any money, and gave him some signed copies of the game that won the award. Overall, very good turnout, and yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense that, there are dozens and dozens of awards that are handed out during this event. I'm sure that the logistics of making sure the award ends up in the right hands, especially with a lot of people traveling, the party, everything that's happening is hard. And I'm sure this is just one of those awards that just kind of got left behind. So there you go. It's back in its rightful hands. And the YouTuber got, I'm sure a very, very cool video that he was able to back up with that. So nice little feel-good story. Everyone wins all around. Now, speaking of people who win all around. Okay, this one, and then we'll move on to some things that might make you, might make you mad. Let's see. And by the way, Endurance Lasers, by the way, was the one that I was talking about. But, But now, the one that everyone wins all around, super excited when I heard about this yesterday, and I'm so happy about it. I would like to talk about it on the air because Futurama Revival, if you didn't know, Futurama is getting revived, will feature the original voice of Bender after all. Yep, turns out it was true. John DiMaggio was holding out for a bigger check, and that's perfectly fine. He's a very iconic part of Futurama, and you know what? John DiMaggio, he reached an agreement, and he's coming back to voice Bender. So now the entire cast of Futurama, voice actors and all, is back in action. And so I think this is supposed to debut in like 2023, but yeah, they can start filming here soon. As I understand it, they were already in the process of recasting him. They finally came to a consensus, and he will be joining everyone else to voice this. So the new 20-episode run, which is scheduled to come to Hulu in 2023, is the third time Futurama has been revived. The show's original run on Fox was canceled after 4 seasons, but was later revived in the form of 4 direct-to-DVD movies that were broadcast on Comedy Central. The network then ordered new seasons of the series, and of course was then canceled again. I would say Futurama's been canceled like every other season, and they always joke about how they're going to continuously be canceled. As I've told others, I was really satisfied with the final series finale, but I love Futurama, so more Futurama, all the better. So there you go. Bender will be back. That's great. Okay, our last 2 stories, and we're going to go ahead and try to keep this short, but our last 2 stories, one of them is about Batman, and if you watch Batman, you may be paying even more than you expect. Why? Well, in theaters, in AMC theaters in particular, and one, they're doing a test run to see how it works, but, when you go to the theaters, the ticket price is the ticket price. You pay, $9 here, $10 there, whatever it is, $7 for a matinee, whatever it is. Well, AMC wants to change up a little bit and go, Batman is going to be such a big draw for a theater, we're going to charge even more to see that particular movie at that particular time. So I guess surge pricing has kind of come. AMC is experimenting with charging more for tickets to The Batman compared to other films showing at its cinemas. The movie appears to be an attempt to capitalize on the heightened anticipation, which sees Robert Pattinson take on the role of the Caped Crusader. So there you go. They have a quote from AMC and the CEO saying, "Currently, our prices for The Batman are slightly higher than the prices we are charging for other movies playing in the same theater at the same time. This is all quite novel in the United States, but actually AMC has been doing it for years in European theaters. In Europe, we charge premium for the best seats in the house, as do just about all sellers of tickets in other industries. Take sporting events, concerts, and live theater, for example." So a couple of things to really nitpick here. A movie is very distinctly not a live event. They're not a sports event. They are not a live concert. They are not a live theater. A movie's a movie, regardless of if you see it at home, if you see it in theater, doesn't matter. It's going to be the same video over and over again. It doesn't matter that you're sitting front row, side row, back row, nosebleed seats, whatever. And during a live event, you get one chance to be courtside. You get one chance to be right up, as close as you can be. And otherwise, you're sitting there watching a video just like everyone else. The fact that they want to charge more for the front seats, the middle seats, versus the side seats, the fact that they want to charge more for the fact that, it's opening weekend of the movie versus elsewhere. Oh my God, let me tell you, if there's a way that AMC can kind of kill their movie theater and say, I can wait till that streams, or, I can wait till that comes into my home, or I can watch on my tablet or something like that. Charge more for a product that's just now starting to rebound. It seems very disingenuous. And then on top of that, wait, before we go any further, they say it's relatively common to see UK-based AMC Odeon charge more to sit in premier seats in the middle of its cinemas. And they just checked here. They have the premier seats, the center middle seats, be about $13, whereas everywhere else is about $10. The same Odeon is charging about $13 to see Batman this Friday, compared to about $10 for Sing 2. So the reason why I kind of don't like this, actually I don't like this a lot, but it's weird that it only goes one way. Like whenever companies introduce features like this, it's always on the upper end. It's always to get you to pay more money. It's not like, that movie that's been out for 2 months, it plays to an empty theater every single day. No one ever goes and watches it. It's not like AMC is going to say, okay, because of such little interest, we're going to charge you $3 to come see this movie. No, it's always on the other end. They want to charge you $3 more. They will never charge you $3 less for a less desired seat. They'll never charge you $3 less for a less desirable film. This pricing scheme that they say, kind of benefits people, it never benefits them to spend less money. So there you go. So they said that the new pricing strategy comes as AMC's business was hit hard by the pandemic, and instead the company found itself at the center of a meme stock trading. But while memes are fun, AMC business inevitability comes down to selling cinema tickets. So yeah, I'm not really a fan. I mean, again, a movie is a movie, and as soon as you start raising the rates just because people want to see it and they want to sit in the middle of the theater, I can't imagine how much that's just going to drive people to not go to an AMC theater. So I hope that this experiment flops. That's my only hope, that happens. So our last story, speaking of flopping, often talk about how expensive it is to run an electric car company. It's not easy. I mean, even Tesla still has its moments, and it gets free publicity thanks to Elon Musk. It is, it gets so much free airtime, so much free mind space that, it's, I can't imagine a company that doesn't get all that advertising for free and how they stack up. Well, Rivian is a good example of this. I would say they're, next to Nikola, they're the next biggest electric car company that gets talked about. And they're about to get talked about a lot here, because Rivian just did something I've never seen before. Rivian jacks up vehicle prices for pre-orders placed years ago, enraging customers. So people put down thousands of dollars for a pre-order electric pickup truck. So they put down, let's see, does it say how much? Yeah. So you put down like $1,000 or whatever it was to commit to say, hey, I will buy this truck when it's produced. Pre-order happens all the time in the vehicle industry nowadays, especially with startups. Well, when they ordered, they said this is going to be a $75,000 electric pickup truck. And now, years after they've taken the money, years after people have been waiting and waiting and waiting, turns out the car company has to say the end result is the price of the truck is going from $75,000 to closer to $100,000. There you go. Rivian announced the new dual motor option for both its truck and SUV, as opposed to the quad motor that had previously been the only one available. The quad motor is now a $6,000 option and only one in production. In addition, the battery pack's options have changed, and many customers have to upgrade to a larger pack to get a feature that they wanted. So there you go. They promised something. They said they were going to deliver. You do that. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people are going to cancel their pre-orders. I think it's refundable. So that's usually the way these things work. They're usually refundable and fairly low, like $1,000 just to get some extra cash flow going. But yeah, that's certainly a lot. So so Rivian did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but the company's chief growth officer told Electric that the price hikes were due to inflation and supply chain crunches. The company had well-publicized difficulties ramping up production to match demand, and a new factory in Georgia was encountering stiff local opposition. There you go. Yep. On top of that, the earliest that people would have received their cars, according to their own projections, you're looking at like 2024. So, still some time out, but yeah, it's people were promised a car. It went up more than 20%, and yeah, I think a lot of people are going to cancel their pre-orders. But there you have it, Rivian. Even they have a hard time, and they're backed by Amazon, the richest, one of the richest companies in the world. It's crazy. So everyone, I think with that being said, we are just about done here. I want to thank you so much for tuning into the program. Again, wanted to keep it short. Made it under 30. That's something. That's improvement. So everyone, until next time, have a great day. Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll catch you here tomorrow. Same time, same place, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Ish, on both ends of that. But I want to thank you so much for tuning into the program. Catch you next time. ComputerAmerica.com, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.